Now, Tom, as Business Development Director for Pogo, you must have a busy time at the moment. How's it all going?
Yeah, it is very, very busy, as I'm sure you can imagine. But I love to take time out to come to events like we're at today. Spend a lot of my time and my team's time talking with landlords, particularly across the roadside retail, hospitality sectors, which is where we're focused in terms of developing our sites. Although what I've loved about being here today, and hopefully throughout the next couple of days as well, is getting to meet people that actually use our chargers that are out there in the wild, as we say. So getting that feedback, understanding what their experience is, what they would do to improve it, is not only useful from a marketing, an operations or an installation perspective, but understanding what they like in a site is really useful for me and my team to then look at what we want to then target in the future.
In a nutshell, who is your ideal client? Who would you like to work with more, and who are the people that you can help on the road to net zero?
We like to work with landlords who have ideally got an open mind and have got multiple sites they can get us to take a look at. We love looking at individual sites and working out individual deals, that's great. But when we work with large-scale landlords that have got a portfolio of sites, it gives us an opportunity to reach new parts of the country that we've not been into yet. It gets us to reach new drivers that we've not managed to speak to yet as well, or engage with the network. But most importantly of all, it helps us build a brand new relationship. And that can then be excellent for future tranches of work through those landlords, particularly if they're in an acquisitions mode. And then we start looking at our team that I run, and we think about, as well as just getting these new landlords in, how can we work with them longer term? How do we get ahead of their acquisition strategy? How do we get them to get more value out of their sites? What's their headaches? You know, we talk to some landlords and they'll go, we love having people come and visit the site, but we're seeing that our footfall is high, but our dwell time is low. And then we go, okay, so how do you think we can help? And they'll go, well, you're an additional service. So if we're going to have people having a shorter dwell time, then we might as well capture them doing another service while they're on site. We pay those landlords a rent, those drivers are charging on our charges and paying a decent amount to us as well, which we're very, very grateful for. And at the same time, it's bringing new customers for that landlord. So they're trying to match their dwell times with new footfall types as well.
I think that's absolutely fascinating, because why are more companies and places not taking advantage of that?
I think that we're in a position where lots of people are beginning to see the value in what we do. There are challenges, and particularly I think, you know, some of the landlords that we've engaged with as well begin with the best of intentions and really energised towards doing a deal. But I think some of the things that stand in the way in terms of barriers are, what can they do with their site? What are their, grandiose term, their restricted covenants they have with their tenants? Effectively, do their tenants have rights under their own leases not to allow some of the spaces that they've got in terms of parking to be given up to EV charging? Different landlords deal with that in different ways. But I think lots of landlords are definitely beginning to see the value in what we do. And we can bring a slightly more bespoke solution. So, for example, we work with a number of different hotel groups, Q Green Hotels most notably. So with those guys, as well as having an ultra-rapid presence where someone can come on and use the cafe or the gym or the spa and be there for a shorter period of time, we're then mixing that with a blend of AC units so that the customer journey is still excellent for a hotel guest, because they can charge their car overnight.
So for those that don't know, AC versus DC, what's the difference and what's the relevance?
So I've said AC and DC there, but a good way to think about it is fast, rapid, ultra rapid. So if you hear someone say fast, it's what we tend to say is between 7 and 22 kilowatts coming out of the unit. That means that you're going to be charging your car in around 2 to 4 hours usually, sometimes a bit longer. If you're talking rapid, that's usually 25 to about 60 or 80 kilowatts. So then someone's charging their car usually around the hour to an hour and a half figure. And if you go to ultra rapid, which tends to be 100 kilowatt plus, then we're into our 20 to 40 minute sweet spot that we operate in, and that our charges are angled towards predominantly.
For those that aren't too sure about making the switch to electric, what would you say to those people?
I absolutely have believed for a number of years, and I've worked in the EV space for about 5 or 6 years in various guises. So I've always had a great belief that this is where the future of UK mobility is going. Lots of people own a car, lots of people need a car even to get to work, take the kids to school and just enjoy their lives. So it's a big part of what we do every day. We saw in the last month, I believe it's the record amount of EVs sold in the UK. So that's a really positive message as we go into Q4 this year and heading into 2025 as well. If you're thinking of getting an EV but you're not too sure, shop around, look at the different options. A few years ago when I started out, there wasn't that many varieties of car, and it made it quite a difficult choice. Now you've got some smaller vehicles. We've got some over here, Microlino. You've got the old Nissan Leafs as well that are more established in the smaller car space. And then you've got BMW, Mercedes, Tesla, all these now that have got some more family style vehicles. My advice would be, I know it's a big leap for some people to make, it's a big change, it's a big commitment for some people as well. Dive in, enjoy it, come to events like this, talk to people that operate chargers, talk to the OEMs, talk to the car manufacturers, understand and get comfortable with being able to charge and get comfortable with the way that you're going to be sold that car, and ultimately embrace that feature. I've not met anyone, I've heard of people, but I have to admit, I've not met anyone that's gone to an electric car and then gone back to an EV, to a non-EV rather, to a petrol or diesel car. So I think there's positive messages out there for people and positive experiences to be had.